in there, but we won't put it back. So we put that there for now. Bam! Watch out now, watch out, watch out now. Howdy, hey guys, welcome back. Got another video, man. In today's video, as you can see what this box says. So today's video, guys, we're gonna be doing a timing belt, water pump, crankshaft seal, and camshaft seal. So I'm not gonna do a long introduction or intro or anything. The only thing I'm gonna say is make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe to the channel down there. Make sure y'all also go in the description and look at all my links. I have my my GoFundMe account down there. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to go and give me any money or anything. Just go take a look at it, read the description. If you want to share it, please share it. If not, I appreciate you just watching. So make sure, like I said, y'all go ahead and look at my GoFundMe link. Make sure y'all go ahead and read the description down at the bottom. Make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all go ahead and like, share, and comment. And let's get into the video. First part of the video, we're gonna go ahead and set everything up on a time lapse, get this car jacked up, get that tire off, and then we'll get to the next step. Bam! All right, guys, now that we have it jacked up, we can go ahead and open the hood. There's a couple of things we're gonna have to do. So the first thing we're gonna go ahead and do is snatch all these spark plug wires out and just get them out of our way. We had that out of our way. We'll go ahead and loose those 10mm valve cover bolts. We'll go ahead and get those loose real quick. All right, we'll go ahead and break these. All right, guys, now next thing we'll do is, if you look on the back of this power steering pump, right here, we need to loose that 12mm bolt right back in there. And once we loose that 12mm bolt, that power steering pump should come free. That slide that over here, and that should free up our power steering belt. Got another one over here. That'll free up the power steering pump. Next, we want to do is take this belt off. All right, now what we want to do is we want to take that and just slide it over top of here, just to get it out of the way. All right, so next thing we'll go ahead and loose this alternator and get this serpentine belt off. To loose this alternator, it'll be this 14mm bolt right there. So it's like 2 steps to loose that. First you want to loose this bolt. And we don't have to take that bolt out, we just want to loose it. And then if you go underneath the alternator, there's a 10mm bolt that sits right under the alternator. All right guys, so there is another 12mm that's right on the bottom of this alternator, and you will see it once you get to this adjuster. And all you want to do is put your socket on it, break it loose. Once you have it loose, you can get this 10mm in front and loose it down, and you will see the alternator dropping down. All right, now that we have it drop down, drop it down a little bit more. And we can take this belt off. And you, just to make a note, before you take the belt off, make sure you mentally note or take a picture of how the belt is ran, because you want to put it back the same way. All right, we got that belt off. Now to get this dipstick. Oh, that's not a 10. That's like an 8. It's an 8mm, not a 10, guys. You want to loose that all the way out. Then once you have it out, you should be able to pull your dipstick out. There is an O-ring that should come on your dipstick, but sometimes it doesn't come out. But it's still there. I was looking at it. I'll pull it out later to make sure it has everything still attached and still good. Might have to replace it, but it should be fine. So now that we have all of that out the way, next thing we need to do is we need to jack up the bottom of the engine. And once we jack up the bottom of the engine, there's a 17mm bolt here, 17mm bolt there, 17 here. That should be a 10 for a ground. And you want to make sure you reinstall that ground, because you definitely need that ground. So that's a 10, and this nut right behind that ground should be a 12. So I go ahead and jack up the engine just a little bit. All right guys, and all you want to do is slide your jack up under your oil pan. Once we get on the oil pan, we jack it up till it hits the oil pan. And that's all we need. We don't need to, hammer down on the jack. You just want to get it up to get the weight off the motor mount, and then stop jacking. Then we'll go back up top. All right guys, so now what we can do is go ahead and loose these. Now you will need a deep wall 17, so we go ahead and loose these 17s. That one. Loose that one. You got that. So after we lose that, we do have a 10mm right here for a ground. We can go ahead and lose that. And like I said guys, you want to reinstall that. And so we don't lose that bolt, I'm gonna just screw it back into the same place. And that 12, that 12 is like a keeper, I think, for the engine mount, the actual rubber part of the motor mount. So you need to hold your hand under the bottom of it so it doesn't drop. And this is the part that's under the bottom. So we'll just screw that right back on top. So we'll know that's where we got it from. And that engine mount should pull right up. So now we have that out the way. We can go ahead and loose. There's bolts on this cover, and I'll try to put like a diagram of how the bolt pattern is. This cover should have two 10mm bolts holding it in, as well as the lip. This lip over the valve cover gasket is also holding this cover in, as well as this 10mm bolt here, and it's another 10mm bolt right in here. You guys probably won't be able to see it, but I'll try to post like a picture of a diagram, or once we take the cover off, I'll show you the cover and show you exactly where those bolts are. So we'll go ahead and loose those 10mm. So there's one here. Let's try a regular socket by hand. Oh, I see what's going on. Looks like the lock on the back of this just strips out. And guys, I forgot to tell you, you can drop your jack back down. The engine should hold itself with the other mounts, so just ease your jack down. So it should be another one back in that corner. Hopefully it'll reach. Alright, so what we'll do is lift this valve cover up just a little bit, and we just need this lip to clear. And that's our top cover. Alright guys, so this is the harmonic balancer, and we'll need to remove this bolt. This is a 19mm bolt that can be a pain in the tail. So the only thing I did was, because my plastic piece is already broken, I only had it held up with some wire tie. So I just broke that free, just slide it out my way. And I have this holder here that's made for these type of vehicles. So you want to place that holder there, and all of this does is, when you put a bolt or a socket or a wrench on this nut, it's going to want to turn the whole engine. So to break this free, this will hold that harmonic balancer so you're not able to turn the engine while you're breaking that nut free. And that nut is a 19mm, I think. So what we'll do is we'll put this, we'll put that in there just like that, and we'll grab a 19 and a breaker bar, and we'll try to break that nut free. So I'll be right back. Let me grab a 19 real quick. All right guys, hope you can see everything. I got my jack handle, and I'm gonna use that as leverage, so let's see if we can get it broke free. And these are typically pretty tight. See if we can get it up a little higher. See if we can get the handle up a little higher. think my breaker bar just broke. Oh, let's see. Be right back. All right, guys. For some reason, I didn't catch that on film, but I did get it broke free. I just instead of using my breaker bar, I used my wrench, my ratchet, and I was able to get it free. And all I did was I used the jack handle, and I just used my foot, and yeah, I was able to break it free. So now that we have that broke free, the next thing we'll do is go ahead and loose it all the way, remove the harmonic balancer, and then we can remove that bottom timing cover. And this harmonic balancer is keyed, so should be able to pull it up. Alright. So next up, we're going to focus on removing these lower cover bolts. So you can see the bottom three right there. So we can go ahead and loose those real quick. Guys, I don't want to talk too bad, but I had a company that did the head gasket on this engine probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and it looks like they didn't tighten up they didn't put all the bolts back in the bottom, nor did they put all the bolts back in the top cover, which was easy. We didn't have to take all those bolts out. But you know, when you're paying a shop that's pretty well known to do your repairs, you expect it to be done. But we're not gonna get into that. So now that we have everything exposed, what we want to do is put that bolt back in and set the timing. So we'll do that real quick, and I'll show you how to do that from the top. So let's go ahead and get the valve cover out of our way, because one of your timing marks is kind of behind this. All right, so hopefully this will somewhat make sense. So we need to set this engine to top dead center. So this mark right here, this little indentation right here, there's on this camshaft pulley, there's a mark on it that says up. You want to turn this engine over until that up mark matches this indentation right here, and that's top dead center right there. So to turn this engine over, what you want to do is you want to go back to that harmonic balancer. You want to go back to the harmonic balancer, and you want to turn the engine counterclockwise, because that's the normal rotation of this engine. So all I did was I put the harmonic balancer back on, tighten the nut back down. Not tight, you just want to get it snug up, and then you'll be able to turn the engine over. And you want to turn it counterclockwise, not clockwise, but counterclockwise. And you want to turn it till that mark at the top, the up symbol, lines up with the actual timing mark. And if everything was timed right and the engine didn't jump time, everything else should be in the proper location. But we'll check it once we put everything back together. And there was one more thing that I didn't show you, was because I didn't think the camera was going to pick it up. So when you set your engine at top dead center, you kind of want to set it before you remove this cover. And you see that little dial that looks like a it looks kind of like a gun sight. So that's what it looks like from the side. Looks like that, and it has like 2 little holes in it. But you use that, and there's marks on your harmonic balancer. So there's like little marks on your harmonic balancer. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but they have like little teeth marks, and those are your timing marks. And this mark, that single one, when you look down at the top of the engine at this cover, it should line up and be exactly lined up with this little sight on your bottom cover, if that makes any sense. All right guys, so now that we got the camshaft set at top dead center, I'm gonna remove this bracket just to make things a little easier to see. And it's 2 14mm bolts. Now we'll go ahead and get this this bracket broke loose and free up. All right guys, we got it broke free. We can go ahead and take it out of there. And the only reason we did that was to get more room to the water pump and everything else that we need to get access to. So at this point, we can go back down to the bottom and start removing these belts in tensioner. So as you can see this, I don't know if it's a good view, but this tensioner right here, that's a 14mm. We can go ahead and break that free right now and start taking these belts and stuff off and get it out of our way. All right guys, so like I said, we want to loose this 14mm nut right here, and this is a tensioner, so we'll be able to loose all the tension and everything off. And I don't know if you can see, but one of my springs hanging loose right here. It's not connected. There's a bunch of stuff that just, I don't know if they didn't connect it when they fixed it the first time, or it wasn't, or it came loose or what, I'm not sure. But we'll go ahead and loose this nut right here off. And if you don't remember how it went on, make sure you either take a picture of it or come back and watch the video to make sure you put it back the right way. All right, I got a 14mm wrench. We'll go ahead and loose that. Alright, and remember, it's a washer right here. Alright guys, we'll go ahead and loose that this tensioner screw off, so this tensioner will be free. Just right here, if you can see it. It's a little 10mm. Alright, and that should free up this tensioner. So let's take that off. All right, next thing we want to do is take this pulley off right here. This pulley off right here. And then let's take this one off as well. And that should release this belt. So we go ahead and take this belt off. We can pull this where we took the harmonic balancer off, we could pull that pulley out, and that should release that belt. And we have all new belts, so we don't have to put these belts back on. Then we can remove this pulley here. But first, it's a spring back here, and I'm not sure if the camera picks up that spring, but we'll need to remove it. Let me see if the camera get it. I don't know if you see that spring right there. We'll need to remove that spring. So I'll be right back. I went and grabbed me a little pick tool. Might be a little easy to get it off. Alright, that's it. And after you do that, it's a 10mm hole in that that tensioner on this side. We'll take a 10mm and take that out. Alright guys, we go ahead and remove this 10mm. And that should free that pulley up. Alright. So now that that's off, what we can go ahead and do now is remove this timing belt. And this is the timing belt. So what we need to do is slide it off this bottom pulley. And once you slide it off the bottom pulley, it should free up everything else. We'll slide it from off that pulley adjuster, and it should free everything else up. Alright, that's the timing belt out. So at this point, guys, we have removed the timing belt. And y'all know me, I like to put my bolts right back where I got them from so I don't lose them. And this is that tensioner. So we'll take that off. And it looks like that. That's the one that goes on the back. And guys, I don't know if I mentioned it, but once I line my camshaft up with top dead center, if you look right here, it says up right there, and all the timing marks are behind it. Once I lined that up with my top dead center on the camshaft, when I went back to my harmonic balancer, it was not in time. It was not timed correctly. So I don't know if the engine jumped time, or maybe when they put it back together 3, 4, 5 years ago, they left it off just a little bit. It wasn't off much, but just a little bit. But we'll try to make sure we go ahead and set everything back right. So the next thing we want to do, because we're replacing this seal, we'll go ahead and remove this camshaft pulley. So we'll get to that real quick, because I think that's where some of my oil is coming from. Because if you look, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but all of that is all back up in here. And the only way you can get all in there is either from this valve cover gasket or from this camshaft pulley or this camshaft seal. So we'll go ahead and get that broke free and change that seal real quick. And to loose that camshaft, we're gonna use this clamp here. And the reason that I'm using this clamp is because I've already set the timing on this camshaft, so we don't want to actually mess up the timing. So we just use this pulley here to hold it while I break it free. You don't want to screw it to tighten it up. And that's just gonna hold it. And we take a 14mm wrench and unscrew it. And that should keep everything in time. All right, we have that out. Now I'm gonna remove this pulley. And it's keyed just like that harmonic balancer too. So we had that out. So guys, so the kit, the timing belt kit that I bought was supposed to come with the camshaft seal and the crankshaft seal, but I only see the crankshaft seal and not the camshaft seal. So I'm gonna probably have to run to my parts store and pick that seal up, and I'll be right back. Well, I'll go ahead and install the camshaft seal since we're sitting here, and I have it, and the water pump, so that when I get the camshaft seal, I can just put it on. All right, guys, so we can go ahead and get this crankshaft seal replaced. So I got a socket. I'm gonna just hit this this gear and see if I can get it to break loose. All right, we got it off. Like I said, you want to make sure you don't lose this key, because that key, you definitely need that. All right, and this is our seal right here. This is our crankshaft seal, and I saw this little method on online how we can get these seals off. So I'm gonna try that and see if it works. All right, guys, so I'm gonna try this little technique I saw online. And this is the first time I ever tried this, so if it doesn't work, I'm sorry. It was worth a try. So we take a drill bit and we drill a little small hole in the side of the seal. All right, and then we take a screw and we thread a screw into that hole. See if I can get my hand in there where you still can see. My screw might be too big. All right, guys, so once we got the screw in, you screw it in just a little bit, and then you take a pair of pliers and you should be able to pull it and get that seal out. All right, and that worked, guys. That's the seal right there. The new one is in this bag. We grab it, and that's the inside, and that's the outside. This is the old one, and this is the new, and they are the same. So we're good to go. We'll get this one and slide it on. All right, and then we'll take the old one put it on. Work. All right, and once you have it where you want it, just grab the hammer and see if we can press it in. Felt like we bottomed out, and it looks like it's pressed in pretty good. All right, guys, now that we got the new seal in, we can go ahead and take the gear, put it back where it needs to be, And you just want to line the keyway up. All right, we got that gear, pulley, whatever you want to call it, back on. Now we can go ahead and hook, I guess it's the crankshaft position sensor. We can hook that back up. And it just goes like this. So this part here has a little nipple on it, and it goes into that hole right there. And then you screw the bolt in at the top. So it goes like that. Like that. We'll put those bolts in. One here. One on the other side at the bottom, right here. All right. And we have one more bolt, and that's for this other sensor here. And it has the same thing, a nipple right here that goes in this bottom part, and a bolt goes at the top. Go ahead and tighten them down. All right. Next, we'll go ahead and change the seal at the top on the camshaft sensor, and we're going to... All right, I got the screw started. Let's see if we can pull this one out. All right, guys, we got this one out. That's it right there. We grab. This is the new one. And this one, I don't think it's that hard to push in. All right, that's that. All right, guys, we can go ahead and install that pulley again. So it'll lift the valve cover gasket up real quick. And it is a keyway, so you'll have to line it up. And that's the up that you see right there on that gear where it says up. That's the symbol I was talking about. That's the lineup mark, as well as that little mark there. And all of that lines up with this mark here. We'll put that bolt back in. All right, now that we have that, we can loose this. All right. Now we'll focus on that water pump, guys. So let me set you guys back up a little lower and we'll get that water pump out. So it looks like with this water pump, we would need to be removing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It looks like we have 6 different bolts that we need to remove in order to get this water pump loose. So this is the water pump. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and set the camera up and I'll start loosening all the bolts. All right, we'll try this. I think they're all 10s. So we'll go ahead and start getting them loose. Hopefully my camera doesn't get wet. And I might go up top and try to lose some of them. Last one, and looks like it's already starting to leak, and it's right here in the corner. And hopefully my camera doesn't get wet. Alright guys, we can go ahead and pull that water pump out. Alright guys, so this is the first step in going. We're gonna go ahead and prep our new water pump, and it came with the seal and everything. So this seal will go just like, oh, flip it around. The seal will go just like that. All right, and this little piece here, it goes like that on the corner, the edge. And I'm gonna put a little bit of silicone or gasket maker around this just to keep it in place. All right, guys. So that's it. That's all I'm gonna put. And wipe a little bit of the residual off. All right.